Sensational.
Comment and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.
I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
If you have self-esteem, that's your self-esteem. It's not called my esteem. Don't care what I think about you. Care about what you think about yourself. So, if you think that you are a man, then you can think that all you want. If I was a woman, I would be a lesbian. Not because I'm a man inside. That's my preference. I like women. But you can still get pregnant if you were born biological woman. So, why do you care? I feel it's your esteem, not my esteem. You can think whatever you want, and I'm gonna think whatever I want. Don't try to force me to think like you. I'm not trying to force me to think like me. I'm not trying to force you to think like me. Listen to this lady, because men cannot say this, even though it's right. But men can't say this, or they will be canceled. But I agree with her. I agree with her. Many people may not like her, or they do. But guess what? Many people may not like you, and many people may do. So, she can say what she wants to. You can say what you want to. But don't get mad if someone says that red is blue. Don't get mad if they say red is red. One is a fact, one is an opinion.
And second of all, I just had a question about like transgenderism. I was curious I just turned 18. If I was a consenting adult and I wanted to identify in a certain way, do you feel like that's something that should be interfered with? Or do you feel like because I'm an adult and I can do what I want, I can express how I want? Or do you feel like there still is a duty to kind of combat that in a sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Your question makes sense. So the first thing that I would say is I think that one thing that is mistaken is this idea that personally, if you want to identify as a fox every day and bark around Central Park, I don't care if you're not impacting me. It really, that doesn't, I would caution you against it as a friend. I think it's important when people are suffering from various mental disorders as a friend, you should tell them this, your life isn't going to end very great if you keep following and pursuing this path. But as a person, as a passerby, I don't really care what somebody does. It doesn't impact me. I think the moment that transgenderism as an ideology became problematic is when they started insisting on it as something that's taught in the school system, as something that's being taught to children. This is when it really woke me up and turned me into a bear, because I will not allow my children to be intentionally confused by professors, right? Intentionally confused by teachers. So while I would caution you against it wouldn't really be my business unless you started demanding that I pretended you were a fox, right? And I think there's some trans people who understand that, like, stop making your delusions my responsibility. But others insist on it, where they just say, well, no, you need to pretend that you see a fox, and I don't, you know? I don't see a fox, so that's what I would say.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I identify as a lesbian, Black, female, and some people might call me a little bit masculine. With your philosophy, tell me, what does my like look like through your eyes?
I don't have any foregone conclusions about you because I don't know you. A lot of people will try to pigeonhole you because of your identity. They will say, okay, well, you just said that you were lesbian and that you were Black, and that's what I was talking about. So that means that you must support transgenderism because we added the letter onto the flag. That's wrong. I don't know you. I'd like to get to know you. I'd like to hear about your ideas. You know, people can become friends on the basis of who they actually are as individuals and not what society is demanding of you based on your sexual preference. So I have no opinion of you other than the fact that you seemed really open-minded tonight, and you were respectful, you stayed here, you showed up to hear me. I'm sure you didn't agree with everything, but I changed your mind on other things, and I think that that's absolutely heroic in today's society.
Recently in Texas, there was a boy who won the girls wrestling state championship. Do you think that he should have been allowed to compete?
I think that a man taking down a woman on a map should warrant a call to the police.
He was actually born female and forced to compete in that division despite being on HRT.
If they want to have their own division, go for it. I actually would
solution
love
is
to watch it.
separate
If you are
but
opting in as a man, as a woman, to having a man take you down on a map, that is totally fine for me. But what is unacceptable is that we have people that are allowing men to compete in these women's divisions. Riley Gaines, who has spoken about how she competed against Leah Thomas and it was not fair. Leah Thomas suddenly switching your gender, competing against women is not fair. I am open to Leah
losing, you're gonna
Thomas.
say it's not fair.
Don't ask me a question and then cut me off when I give you the answer. It's just obnoxious. It really is. I am open to Leah Thomas and every other trans person having their own category. What I am not open to are biological men competing against women. If you don't want to acknowledge biological reality, I want you to lead the trans Olympics. I want you to be the person that establishes the trans events for people. Thank you for your question. There's more people behind you.
Okay, I love that your solution is separate, buddy.
What? So we already have a what? Your solution is separate but equal? What are you talking about? We already have men and women divisions. So is that separate but equal? Next question. Because men and women are not the same. Not the same. Our interests are not the same. And they're never going to be the same. And it's strange to me that people are now trying to combine us, to make us some androgynous species. I don't want to be a man. Can I say that? Is that acceptable? I don't want to be. It seems like a tough gig. It really does. And I don't know what these feminists from yesteryear were fighting for. Because I gotta be honest, this sucks. You're telling me that I can put my butt cheeks on the internet for free, and that's gonna stick it to the man? Free the nipple is an Instagram campaign? Oh yeah, he's gonna be really upset, ladies, when you're naked on the internet. You're telling me that women are being taught to have multiple partners as some act of sexual freedom. Oh yeah, ladies, it's really gonna suck when you tell men, I don't want a relationship, but I'll sleep with you for nothing because modern feminism says that that's good. It sucks. Oh, now I get to work just like a man, hours day in and day out. Dude, we were just cooking. I love cooking. Who fought for feminism, modern feminism? People keep thinking that these are things that women liked. And when you actually look at happiness, women are not happy anymore because we're being told that we still have to be a woman, but also be like a man. It shouldn't be like that. Both of these things are divine, femininity and masculinity. And both of these things currently in society are being perverted. They're being perverted completely. I don't think it is something that women aspire to have multiple partners, even if we pretend and people are telling you that that's what you should aspire to because you can be just like a man. It's not natural. It simply isn't. Women want relationships, even if they don't tell you that. Women want to aspire once you get older. You want to find a person that you know is going to protect you. And that's not to say that women and men are different is not to say that one is even more other than the other. In fact, I say the toughest job in the entire world is being a stay-at-home mom. For the women that do that, they're heroic.
I am a feminist. I do study specifically academia and the structure of academia and what that looks like for people of color. So in relation to free speech, like, do you feel that like free speech is free for everybody in terms of Western society and the America that we live in today? And at what point does free speech no longer become free?
What do you mean? At what point does it become no longer become free?
Some rhetoric can be harmful to other communities, especially in the way that it's spread in the media, and I think that goes for both sides. But
can you give me an example? It's always easier to answer a question.
So like what I know, we all are aware of what happened on campus last year.
I'm not.
Okay. Great. Look it up. So it was just involving the feeling of LGBTQ members of the community feeling unsafe with rhetoric that's being shared in terms of transphobia.
Like if you're a man, I need an example, and someone, like if you're a biological man and someone says, hey, what's up, dude?
More of like there's students on campus that are living in communities where they don't feel safe because of rhetoric of explaining that transphobia isn't accepted. So my question is just like, how do you think free speech impacts everybody in community?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that if somebody looks at a man and calls him a man, that they're suddenly unsafe because they've created a false reality in their own head. Yeah, I don't abide by that. I think this is what's really happening is that we are celebrating orders in America right now. I had a stalker, a very serious stalker at FBI ended up getting involved who had suffered from schizophrenia. He very much believed, and it was a terrifying thing to go through. He escaped the Psych 5150 hold, and he very much believed that he and I were in a relationship, and he would send me about 100 emails a day, okay? In the world of what you believe in your own head now needs to be accepted as reality, I would have had to marry him and raise my children with him, okay? But what was going on in his head wasn't actually reality. And me saying that this person needs to stay away from me and my family because there's something wrong with him and he was threatening to kill me if I didn't, raise my child with him, that was reality. That was something that had to be dealt with. So what's happened right now is the left is trying to make it seem that people who see reality for what it is are demented and are creating unsafe territory, and that's not the truth. In fact, what I think is unsafe territory is for people to be affirmed in their delusions. So I will never refer to a biological male as a and if that makes somebody feel unsafe, I'm not following you around. I don't know what happened on your campus. I wouldn't follow you around and say, hey, you're a male. Totally fine. Go live your life as you want to live your life. But when you say that the way that you live your life now has to impact me and I have to pretend that I see a woman when clearly you are a I shouldn't have to play that game. That's all. Thank you very much.
They think what they feel make them right. You have a right to your feelings, but your feelings don't make you right. So most people process their reason and their logic from their emotions, not from facts and what's true. Motherfucker base what they think is logical and reason from what they feel. No intelligent person does that. They let their feelings subside and then start to try to think. You gotta think past what you feel.
Queer.
Bye, Felicia.
Be the best you can be. Love your family, love your friends. Spread love, not violence, not this virus. As always, peace.